Hey guys, welcome to Crazy Days. Today we're talking with Rain Country, Heidi, and we're talking about skirts and herbs. Heidi, you recently sent me a skirt, and it is a candy corn skirt, and it is awesome. And I am just loving it. So you want to tell everybody kind of how you come to put these, I call them patchwork skirts. I don't know exactly what you're calling them,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's what I call them. Okay, well, um, this really all started actually, well, it's been about a year and a half ago when Stacy from Off Road Doug and Stacy gave me the idea. She called me up and she said, "Hey, I really would like you to make me a skirt because I'd already been getting orders on the frontier style skirt, the four-tier skirt, just solid." And I was like, "Oh wow!" So how am I going to do this? And so I just kind of started throwing it together, and along the way, I've sort of figured out ways to do to lay them out better, to get the colors so they don't overlap. It's a little more time consuming, but then I just started having fun playing with colors, playing with the different fabrics that I had on hand. Because with her skirt, that first one, it was all solids, and that's what she wanted. But then I why not have fun with some prints? And then eventually came the whole giving them names, and yeah, I like doing that.
with the names, tell us some of the names that you've given some of the skirts.
Well, one of the ones I just sold and shipped out today is called Autumn Glory, and I found this really great ombre print fabric at a garage sale, and I had some beautiful solids that would go well with it. And it was all in fall colors, and so I put that together. And somebody, I'm not going to say who it is yet because it'll be found out eventually, saw it and said, "That is so me." Even her husband said, "That is so you." And she has a YouTube channel, and they're going to be at the homesteading fair. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's in October. And so she wants to make her grand entrance in that skirt. And I was just so excited. It's always great when someone you've been kind of interacting with on YouTube and stuff, gets one of your skirts and they're excited about it. And but it's also cool to be able, just like with your skirt, the candy corn skirt. You had seen the summer sun one I had made for Ashley over at Farm Alarm. And you said, "That makes me think of candy corn." And I thought, you know what? I think I could do better than that and make it look more like candy corn. And that was where I designed to use some of the same fabrics and then put the white in there. And I made sure to get that I had enough fabric to do 2 skirts, so I can do one more like that, and I'll probably go up on the store next week. And then the chocolate truck was another good one because, us ladies especially, we like that chocolate. And so I thought when I put this one together in all these different shades of brown, I was trying to come up with a good name. And I'm like, it's got to be something to do with chocolate. And so I thought that would be a good one. And that sold pretty good. There was this one that I did it was similar to the first skirt that I did for Stacy. It's all in solids, but it's all very dark colors. And I was looking at it going, it needs to be something related to night, but something that just makes you feel good. And so I got to thinking of classical music. Well, Chopin has a symphony called Nocturnus, which means night. And so I'm like, that's perfect. So I love picking out names. Picking out names for a skirt is part of the whole process. That just, I just love doing that.
Well, part of it, one of them's a garden. You've got some that resemble gardens, and I do know some of those.
Secret Garden and Romantic Garden.
Mm-hmm.
I think Romantic Garden was one of the ones you really liked with the darker colors in it. Yeah, that was a fun one. I had a Thomas Kincaid print in it, too.
Okay, so now talk a little bit about the way you make them with the sewing machine, with any hand doing, and plus you crochet the belts.
Yeah. So the skirts are all made on a treadle machine. It's a machine that I actually bought brand new as a treadle machine. Some people don't realize that there are companies out there that make treadle machines that are new. They look like a modern sewing machine, but they're actually treadle machine. There's no electricity involved in them. And so some people think that I've converted it. Nope. That's how I purchased it. I went shopping specifically for a treadle machine. And though I love the old ones, the old-fashioned ones, they're just so beautiful. The modern ones have a few things on them that your older ones don't, like reverse stitch and zigzag stitch, which I sew, like with the skirts, I sew the whole skirt with a zigzag stitch because I think it just has a better hold, it catches the fabric better, and I just prefer the zigzag for that. And then there's the tag. I make the tag by hand, the Rain Country tag. And I used to hand stitch it in, but I was having a hard time getting it hand stitched in where it would look nice. So now I just zigzag. And then the drawstring is made with a piece of elastic about this big, and then so that sits at the very back, and then hand crochet 3 strands of yarn that match the skirt and then sew it on each end of the elastic, and then pull it through. So that way you kind of get the benefit of both the elastic, you get the easy movement, but being able to fully adjust it. That's why the one size skirt that I make fits such a broad variety of people.
It fits almost anybody because, well, almost anybody, but my size, I was afraid, okay, she's going to have it really, really small, because when it was drawn up, and I'm like, it'll never fit my waist. And I was going, and then when I undone it and it started expanding, I'm going, okay, I'm not that little in the waist. Not that big either, but I'm not that little. So, but I really appreciate the skirt and I love it. So on Tuesday, I'm going to put up a video, and Heidi's putting up a video on the top 10 herbs on our homestead. Now yours will be different. Hers is different from mine. We'll have some of the same ones, but it's going to be an awesome video on herbs. We're going to tell you a little bit about them, not much, but just a touch about them. And I even talk about some books in mine. So I don't want to give away our herbs. That's the one deal. But I do want to mention a little bit, because you and I were talking. I can raise some things that might not grow in your area. And you grow lots of things that doesn't grow here. And one thing I really, really like is lavender. And lavender didn't make my top 10, because I would have this whole Deep South place covered in lavender. It would be lavender fields everywhere, but it won't grow here. I managed to get the fern leaf lavender to grow here the last 2 summers, but it was only one plant. And I couldn't get it to multiply. I couldn't do any better. And it it was not very big. So lavender is tough for me. And you may grow it wonderfully. I don't know.
We're actually about 75 miles from Squim. And it's the one place that gets more, for this side of the mountains, more sun than anywhere else. And Squim is known for its lavender. And lavender doesn't like to have wet feet, so you think it would like dry places. So I didn't know if it would do well here, but I have a lot of really great lavender plants. It's a matter of making sure that you grow them in a place that can be protected enough from the 120 to 160 inches of rain we get here per year, but also get sun. It can be tricky, but for some reason I've managed to, I have like somewhere between 5 and 7 plants. I can't remember. And one of them is massive. It's like about 5 across.
What kind of tinctures, lotions, that sort of stuff, and how much of it do you grow your own herbs and dry and use, as opposed to essential oils that you buy?
I do buy quite a few essential oils, but I try my best to grow most of the herbs that I'm going to use in things, because essential oils, they're great. I love them. I think they're wonderful, but it takes a lot of herb to make an oil, as you know. And I want to be able to get to where I'm more dependent on what I'm growing. So I've been increasing the amount of herbs that I grow every year and the types, mostly, staying focused on the ones I know work for us for various things, and using those in different ways, whether it be using them in a skin cream, using them in lip balm, infusing an oil, like avocado oil is my favorite oil to infuse with the herbs. when I add to lip balm and skin cream, or tincturing them with various different things like whether it be vodka or homemade vinegar or even homemade wine. I just made a peppermint extract and checked it the other day using a homemade wine and some glycerin. Oh my gosh, it is so good. It is very strong. But anyway, that's what my goal is. I'm growing quite a few herbs, and my goal is to be able to, if I cannot, let's say, grid down situation, I run out of essential oils, I can't get my hands on any, I want to know I have a lot of good herbs on hand that maybe I might even be able to eventually make my own essential oils with those. So I know it takes a lot, and you have to have the right kind of equipment for it, but we're looking at making a distiller or something for doing that kind of thing. So that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that's the deal. Patrick and Danny both have such skills to invent things. They're a MacGyver. So in a grid down situation, we're both kind of pretty lucky because they're going to figure something out. And so my question is, on the oil, on your lotions and your tinctures, how long do they last, or how long are they good? Are they good for 3 months, 6 months, a year when you have your lotions and tinctures and stuff?
That's a pretty good question about the skin creams and that kind of stuff. I've never really thought about it. My assumption is based on the coconut oil and things like that is sitting in that. Coconut oil really doesn't have a shelf life because it's pretty indefinite. And my skin creams and my lip balm both have the coconut oil in them. But I would probably say a safe guess might be a year on those, but that's just a guess. Now, as far as tinctures go, if you're tincturing in a high-proof alcohol like, vodka or Everclear, it's indefinite. It's going to last on the shelf forever. So that's what makes making a tincture, an actual tincture with a high-proof alcohol, a really good option. If you're doing something like a vinegar one, I would say maybe a year. Glycerin-based is going to be about 4 months. Okay. So it just really depends on what you're using, as your solvent. And those would be considered extracts, not technically tinctures, because, it has to be at least 80 proof and above alcohol for it to be considered a tincture.
Yeah.
So,
that was my thought, because years ago, what I made most of the time was with vodka. I use vodka to tincture things. Now I keep mainly my herbs are all fresh. I do dry some or dehydrate, but I have them on hand. Most of ours will winter, and so I have fresh whatever. If I need yarrow, I usually have fresh yarrow year round, just about it.
Oh wow!
So I don't worry too much about doing a lot of tinctures because I have it fresh. I keep a lot of things in the greenhouse through the winter so that I keep it fresh, like my aloe and stuff. I keep that where I have it on hand fresh. So I don't worry about making something. For tinctures, I like to use that better than anything else to me. But I do like the lotions. I do like some of the essential oils. I'm starting to get into the essential oils a little bit because I can't grow everything myself. And like you said, the essential oils are good for that. If you can't grow it, get essential oils, because the little bottles do last a long time. And so my thought is, what would be, without even your top 10, we're going to be doing top 10, but without giving it away, if you had to pick, even if it's not in your top 10, put it that way, your homestead herb that you would say you cook the most with, that you grow.
That would be sage.
Really?
And I actually didn't include it in my top 10 because I want to do a separate video just on culinary herbs that are also have medicinal properties. So I didn't include that in there. But I cook with sage a lot. It goes in quite a few of my different meals, for my homemade breakfast sausages, and it doesn't matter, sauces, gravies, soups, everything. I love sage.
Yeah.
The only one I don't put it in is my Italian sauces. It just doesn't seem like it quite goes well in the Italian sauces.
Yeah.
But then I have the oregano in there, and that's stuff too.
Yeah, and see, I like my oregano. I have that, but mine would probably be the garlic and onions and the rosemary. I do like cooking with both of those. A medicinal herb, whether it's wild or something you grow, whether it grows in your area or something that you grow, what would be the one herb that maybe not even in the top 10, because that's what I'm getting at, that you probably use more than any other herb as far as medicinal purposes you've had to use, put it that way?
I'm really thinking, I keep coming back to the marshmallow. I think I use that one as a whole the most, because you can use the flowers. I don't think there's a whole lot of medicinal benefit in the flower as much as in the leaves and the roots.
Mm-hmm.
But the leaves are edible. They have just a nice mild flavor, and I put them in salads. I use the marshmallow leaves in my infused oil for the skin cream and the lip balm. I make tea out of it, and then the root, same thing. You can make tea. You can actually use the root to make marshmallow. I'd like to learn the old-fashioned way of doing it, though. It's not like, because the way you buy them in the store is not like they were originally made out of the root.
No.
And I think it's probably more similar to a marshmallow cream or meringue, but it sounds wonderful, so I'm going to try it someday. But yeah, because the whole plant, there's so much to it, and it has so many uses, both medicinally and just for cooking. You're using it as a vegetable. And here it grows, it just gets massive here.
Well, that's what I was thinking. We have a lot of medicinal herbs that grow here, but some of the things that we have, like red clover, Danny planted a whole field of.
Uh-huh.
And red clover has so many properties that you can use, and they use it as cancer. You know, it helps build the immune system, I guess. They're fighting cancer and stuff like that. And we've started adding that around our fruit trees and everything, so that when we need it, we're going to have red clover everywhere. I'd like to thank Heidi from Rain Country Homestead for joining me today. The last part of our conversation did not get recorded, so I want you guys to go check out Rain Country Homestead and her Etsy store for the beautiful skirts that she made, the patchwork skirts. And check out Tuesday. We both are doing 10 herbs that we grow on our homestead. We're doing a collaboration, and if you'd like to join us, let one of us know and we'll add you to the playlist. Thank you guys. Crazy days.